Woo! What's going on, guys? Almost Forum coming at you with another video. Shoulders getting better. The clap is back. NFC Divisional round 2. By the way, Washington Commanders at Detroit Lions in Ford Field. Minus 9.5 right now. I think the spread is for the Lions to be winning this game, but do not sleep on the Washington Commanders. And we'll get into it why. About that 9.5, about that spread, about just don't sleep on the Commanders. Commanders are coming into the den. This is going to be a big game for Detroit, big game for Washington. Big upset last week, them beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in round 1. I thought the Buccaneers kind of gifted that game to them, but Commanders, hey man, they deserve to win the football game, and it's a good team. Don't sleep on them. But do they have what it takes to beat the Detroit Lions, especially in Ford Field? Now let's go into some injuries. We'll talk about that a little bit. Commanders first, because they are the road team. Linebacker Jordan McGee, rookie, got a hamstring, did not practice. He is out. Linebacker Mekhi Walker, illness, did not practice. He's questionable. Tight end Colston Yankoff, hamstring, full practice. He's questionable as well. Probably test that out. Tight end John Bates, shoulder, limited practice, no injury designation. Looks like he's going. Wide receiver Jamison Crowder with a hamstring, limited practice, no injury designation. Defensive end Clayton Farrell, knee, limited practice, no injury designation. Linebacker Frankie Louvu, who's a good one, shoulder, limited practice, no injury designation. A lot of these guys are going to be testing out some stuff probably. Majority of these guys will be playing though. Tight end Ben Sinat, shoulder, limited practice, no injury designation. Linebacker Bobby Wagner with an ankle injury, with limited practice, no injury designation. He'll be testing that out. Can't see Bobby Wagner missing this. He is a problem. Offensive tackle Brandon Coleman, I believe, is another rookie. Shoulder, full practice, no injury designation. Tight end Zach Ertz, ribs, full practice, no injury designation. Kicker Zane Gonzalez with a hip injury, full practice, no injury designation. Linebacker Dominique Hampton with a back injury, full practice, no injury designation. Cornerback Marshawn Lattimore, hamstring, full practice, no injury designation. Mike Evans had him crying on the sidelines pretty much last week, though. Wide receiver KJ Osborne with a finger, full practice, no injury designation. And defensive tackle Darren Payne, who's a good one, finger, full practice, no injury designation. So some injuries there. Couple guys out, 1 or 2 guys out. Some questionable tags going on there too. Maybe some guys kind of testing to see what's going on, but these guys are ready to rock and roll. It's the playoffs. Nice to kind of sit for 1 week, finally, in the history of the Detroit Lions. And first time ever winning the 1 seed and having a bye. Feels nice. Much needed bye for the Lions. Now the Lions, injuries, defensive lineman Pat O'Connor with a calf injury. Did not practice. He is out. Guard Kevin Zeitler is a big one. Hamstring. Got hurt in that Minnesota game. Same with O'Connor. Did not practice. He is out as well too. And it looks like Christian Mahogany, the rookie out of Boston College, the 6th-round pick, will be going. Who's been playing well. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Cornerback rookie Enos Rakestraw Jr. Hamstring and an illness. Limited practice. He is questionable. Cornerback rookie Terrion Arnold with a foot injury. It looked a lot worse than it was against Minnesota when he was pretty much carried off the field and then carted into the locker room. He was a full go, no injury designation, so he looks like he's going. Vildor will probably be backing him up. Are we going to see a little bit more of Vildor? We'll talk about that. Then tackle Taylor Decker, personal, full practice. He missed a lot of the week this week. I think he was waiting for his wife to have their child. I believe their 2nd or 3rd child, not too sure, but. And I don't know if Mrs. Decker ended up having the baby or not, but I know he was waiting for that. But he did end up getting into practice or 2, had to, or he'd be probably off on that list. But no injury designation, he's a go. Then running back David Montgomery, knee injury, full practice, he is a go. How much will he be playing? We'll talk about that as well. Now let's go to the roster really quick, guys. We do the road team first. Commanders offense, quarterback rookie Jaden Daniels. Dynamic. That's all you can say about him. He is a problem, especially with his legs too as well. Almost 900 yards, I believe, on the ground and like 6 or 7 touchdowns. So he is a problem. Marcus Mariota kind of backing him up. Running back Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Jeremiah Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez. I talk about all four of these guys because at one point, all four of these guys had to start. At one point, all four of these guys had to start. They've had some injuries in that backfield, and all of them have actually done pretty well when they got their name called. So I mentioned all four because all four can be a problem. Their best running back here is Brian Robinson Jr., obviously. Second leading rusher on the team next to Jaden Daniels. Eckler's kind of a little bit, he's not as good as he once was as a Charger, obviously. But Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez have actually filled in pretty nicely when their names have been called upon. So, but they usually go with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler with a splash and McNichols. Then wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, Diami Brown, Olamide Zacchaeus, I'm probably crucifying his name. KJ Osborne, Jamison Crowder, and I got the rookie Luke McCaffrey. I name all these guys too because some of these guys have done some damage in the past. Terry McLaurin's a dog, Scary Terry. You all know about him. He's gone through a million quarterbacks, a million different OCs, coaches, and all. But this guy is the consummate professional. He's just a pro all the way, articulate, smart, great player. Not that big at 6 foot, 200 pounds, wherever he is, maybe a little bit bigger. A lot of people question if he's a wide receiver one. I believe he is. He's a really good wide receiver. There's people out there saying don't worry about Terry McLaurin because we shut down Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison 2 weeks ago. Those Minnesota guys. Does not matter what we did 2 weeks ago. Doesn't mean we're going to be doing that every week. McLaurin's a problem. Diami Brown didn't do much all year, but he had a very good game against the Buccaneers. And don't sleep on Zacchaeus. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm butchering it. But he had a very nice end of the year with a nice couple games. So don't sleep on him either. And KJ Osborne has burned us in the past when he was Minnesota Viking. Jameson Crowder has done some things. Luke McCaffrey, McCaffrey's little brother, Christian McCaffrey's little brother. He's a rookie. He hasn't done much this year, but he's a McCaffrey. Now the tight end Zach Ertz, the old man, still getting it done. He was a very good addition to that Washington Commanders team. Left tackle rookie Brandon Coleman. Left guard Nick Allegretti. Center Tyler Biads. Right guard Sam Cosme. And then right tackle Andrew Wiley. A big unit. That's a really big department right there. Those guys they're all massive. I personally think they're better in the run game than they are in pass blocking, but we'll find out tonight. But it's a good unit. It's a good offense. They got guys across the board. It's not just Terry McLaurin like a lot of people are going to suggest. It's a decent offense, man. It's obviously got Scary Terry and Zach Ertz, who I think are their two biggest weapons. Brian Robinson's a bigger back, runs hard. He can catch the ball a little bit. Eckler is more of their catch back too, who can catch some balls. Don't sleep on guys like Brown or Zacchaeus. Those guys can play too as well. The defense, defensive end Dante Fowler Jr. had a nice campaign this year with over 10 sacks. Defensive tackle Darren Payne, defensive tackle Jonathan Allen as the two defensive tackles. Defensive end Doris Armstrong kind of came in. Dorrance Armstrong kind of came from the Cowboys. You guys got like rookie Jazar Newton and Cleveland Farrell kind of backing those guys up as well. Linebacker Frankie Luvo, who I like. Linebacker Bobby Wagner, who's been around the block. Has won a championship or two, I believe. One with Seattle for sure. I don't know if he was with the Rams when they won. He might have been. But he's a little bit banged up right now. If he's not going, Nick Bellore will be in there. And then cornerback, the rookie Mike Sanistrill, ex-Michigan Wolverine guy. Very good corner. Played some nickel this year. It looks like he's on the outside now. He's versatile. He can play inside, outside. Strong safety, Jeremy Chin, who I like. Free safety, Quan Martin. Another corner, Marshawn Lattimore, who just kind of came back the last few weeks. And like I said earlier, when he was kind of a little, like some tears going on the sidelines. Mike Evans was causing him fits last week in that playoff game. then the nickel cornerback Noah Igben Oghane. Man, I should have practiced some of these names. But let's go Noah Iggs. We're going to call him Noah Iggs. Igbin. We'll call him Igbin. So that's, I just don't want to butcher the guy's name. But he's their nickel corner. And then kicker, Zane Gonzalez, and punter, Tress Way. Let's go to Lions offense really quick. Quarterback, Jared Goff. Great year this year. Running back Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, Will Gibbs. Gibbs, it looks like, is going to be the number one guy now. Montgomery kind of coming back from that knee injury, decided not to do surgery, got a third opinion, and went through some rehab, and he's back. How many snaps will he be getting tonight at 8 o'clock? Don't know. I have no idea what they're going to be in store for, but I know Dave Montgomery came out and said he called Gibbs a dog. He's like, that's my dog. The guy, he's phenomenal, blah, blah, this and that. He goes, I'm just here now just to support him and to do what he wants me to do, just to be part of this rotation. You don't hear that much from NFL guys. You don't hear that much from sports guys in general. It just goes to show you what type of team we have. It's not just a me first attitude over here. And personally, I don't think Montgomery's going to get as many snaps. Gibbs has completely proven lots of people wrong that he is not a running back one. Because a lot of people, when we drafted him, a lot of people were upset. He's not going to be a part of the rotation. He's going to be a part of the rotation. He's never going to be an RB1. He's not big enough. He's not this and that. He's completely shown when Montgomery went down that he can take over the backfield. Now, would he have gotten hurt? If it would have been a 17-game season, he would have done that? Who knows? But I know in that short period of span, was it 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it was, 3 weeks? Yeah, it was 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. He proved time and time again that he can take over a backfield and excel and just be a dog, and he totally was. So it's Gibbs' backfield now. It's obvious. Montgomery, you used to see these carries between these two guys exactly down the middle. You'd see Gibbs with like 14 carries and Montgomery with 15 or 16, or vice versa. I think it's going to be a little more than that now, but it's good to have Demo back, and it's gonna show, I think, on the scoreboard and in the game alone when he's going to be pounding the rock on that very weak defense, running weak defense, and we'll get into that too. And then wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond, Allen Robinson, obviously St. Brown and J-Mo being the two big guys there, and Tim Patrick and Khalif Raymond filling in nicely as the 3 and 4. Tight end Sam Laporta, Brock Wright backing him up. Need a big night from Laporta. Left tackle Taylor Decker, left guard Graham Glasgow, center Frank Ragnow. Right guard looks like it's going to be rookie Christian Mahogany out of Boston College. Coyote Awusika probably backing him up. Zeitler going down, which is big. I think they're two different guards here. I think Zeitler was more of a finesse guard. If a guy that big could be a finesse guard, more technique, more sound technique, better in pass blocking, I think, than he is in run blocking. Not that he was bad in run blocking. I just think pass blocking was his thing. And Christian Mahogany is kind of the opposite. He's kind of a in-your-face, getting dirty grinder that loves to run block, and I think is better at run blocking than he is pass blocking, which doesn't mean he can't pass block. Just means he's better at one thing. And he has shown that he, when he went into the Chicago game, I think played the whole game for Glasgow, played well, played good against when Zeitler went down against Minnesota. Is he ready to step in? We'll see tonight. It's the game of his life, the biggest game of his life right now at the NFL level anyways. And let's see if he's got, the goods to hopefully possibly be our future guard down the road, because they got two real good defensive tackles. They do. They have a good D-line, Washington. Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen on the inside. Two guys that can get to the quarterback. You're going to have to pass block on these guys. I think he might need a little bit of help from guys like Ragnow, and he's on the right side, so he's with Sewell, which kind of makes me feel very comfortable. Not that Taylor Decker can't handle his own. I think Decker's had a little bit of a down year. And Sewell's just Sewell, all pro, one of the best right tackles in the NFL, if not the best right tackle, and right up there with the best old lineman in the NFL, if not the best. So, I'm a little more comfortable, happy that he's on that right side with Sewell and guys like obviously Ragnow in the middle at center. So it makes me feel a little bit better that he's on that right side. And then obviously right tackle Penei Sewell, the all-pro, all-world right tackle. Now defense, Joshua Pascal. Nose tackle, DJ Reader. Now Backing him up, I don't really know. Pat O'Connor's out, so is it going to be Broderick Martin? Are they going to put more Levi and Muzurike on the inside? Time will tell. But they got defensive tackle Levi and Muzurike in there. Miles Adams is probably going to get the call up as well. He's been playing pretty well for the Lions when they picked him off that Seattle squad. Defensive ends is Zadarius Smith, El Quad, and Muhammad backing him up as well. Muhammad's had some really nice games for Detroit. He's filled in nicely. Few sacks to his name as a Lion. So much needed right there. Linebacker Alex Anzalone, Ben Neiman kind of backing him up. Jack Campbell in there. Cornerback rookie Terrion Arnold. Are we going to see Kindle Vildor? Is that foot going to come back to haunt us on Terrion Arnold? It looks like he's 100% go, but Vildor could get some snaps. Strong safety, Ifeatu Melifonwu. I'm just saying this right now. I'll explain. Free safety, Kirby Joseph. Cornerback, Amik Robertson. Enos Rakestraw, is he going to get the call up? Is he going to be backing up Amik? Or is he going to be backing up Brian Branch, who could be playing some nickel corner? Now, I say this right now because remember 2 weeks ago, I go to a site named OurLads.com, okay? Pretty much every week when I do my preview, and they have very good with depth chart. I always think that they're one of the best sites out there if you want to look at a depth chart. Now, 2 weeks ago when I looked at that for the Minnesota game, they had Branch at nickel. They had Amik at the outside playing Justin Jefferson. Melifonwu in there at strong safety. Is that going to be the same kind of deal? Branch was kind of all over the place in that Minnesota game, playing some nickel, playing some outside. No, I mean playing some backfield deep in the secondary as a safety. Seeing Amik Robertson on the outside, Melifonwu coming in and out. A very versatile group of secondary guys. Are they going to kind of go the same route? They did well against Justin Jefferson. They pretty much blanked out Jordan Addison with 1 catch for 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. Sam Darnold was terrible that football game. We pressured the hell out of him. He did miss some throws, not taking away anything from Amik Robertson because he was excellent. But Darnold, in reality, did miss some throws. He really did. He was very, very bad. Maybe he was just seeing ghosts. Who knows? Did the same thing happen when he played the Rams last week in round 1 of the divisional round? So are they going to do the same thing? We'll talk about that in a little bit too. NFL rankings, offense, we'll go the Commanders first. Yards per game, 369.6 yards for the Commanders. That's 7th in the NFL. Rushing per game, 154.1. That's 3rd in the NFL. Just remember, they got a rookie quarterback that runs the football that almost had 900 yards running as well. Per rush, 5 yards per rush at number 3 in the NFL. Passing per game, 215.6 yards. That puts us at 7. That puts them at 17th. QBR was 102.5, 7th in the NFL. Sacks, they had 50 sacks, tied for 28th in the NFL. Given up against, so just 28, just 50 sacks. That's a lot though. That's 28th in the NFL, obviously. Third down percentages, that's turning first downs. That's turning third downs into first downs to 45.6%. That's 6th in the NFL for the Commanders, which is really good. Possession per game, 30 minutes, 55 seconds, 9th in the NFL. Points per game, 28.5 points per game. That's 5th in the NFL. So did some things there. A good offense, not a great offense, but a very, very sound offense. I think they run the ball better. They can obviously pass. They got some weapons over there, but I think they run the ball better. When you're having pretty much 3 running backs, Brian Robinson Jr., Eckler, and then you got a dynamic rookie as in Jaden Daniels who can run the ball. That makes you a very high team for yards for and per rush. So it's a good sound offense. It really is. Now the Lions. Yards per game, 409.5, which is number 2 in the NFL. 146.4 yards rushing per game, 6th in the NFL. Per rush, 4.7. That's tied for 5th in the NFL. Passing, 263.2 yards passing, number 2 in the NFL. QBR, 112.6, number 2. Goff had a great year. They gave up 33 sacks. That's 7th in the NFL, which is excellent. Third down percentage of 47.6. Percentages turned thirds into first. That's at number 4. They get a lot of first downs. Possession, 32 minutes, 23 seconds, number 2 in the NFL, and 33.2 points a game puts them at number 1. This is an elite offense in every which way possible. Goff had an elite year. O-line was elite. Wide receivers were elite. Running backs were elite. O-line, everything up the top. Ben Johnson, everybody was elite. Top 5 offense in pretty much every single category. They were just an excellent offense. The best offense in the NFL. They were the number 1 offense in the NFL. And that's not saying that the Ravens or the Bills or anybody like that were terrible, because they were right there. But when it comes to points for, we had the number 1 offense in the NFL, and I think we did a lot of great things. Now the defense, Commanders. Yards per game, they gave up 326.9 yards a game, 13th in the NFL. It's air yards, and I'm going to explain in a little bit too. You guys know I've done it all year. This is based off, most of it's based off air yards, especially when you say yards a game, 13th. That's what they are. They were 13th best in the NFL, giving up total yards. Rushing per game, they gave up 137.5 yards. That's 30th in the NFL. They cannot stop the run, the Commanders. That is a big problem for them, and we have that problem. It's going to be another problem for them. Per rush, they gave up 4.8 yards per rush. That's tied for 30th. Pass per game, 189.5 yards per pass per game. That's third in the NFL. Air yards, and I'll explain it in a bit when I get into a little more. I dove a little bit deeper into this. Now, QBR, 93.9 yards, 93.9% against. That's 19th in the NFL. They had 43 sacks, tied for 7th. Third down percentages, that's turning thirds into first against them at 38.2%. That's 14th in the NFL. So they're going around middle of the pack. Possession, 29 minutes, 30 seconds as the defense was on there. That's 9th in the NFL. And they gave up 23 points a game on average. 21 overall in the NFL. So a good defense, a good pass defense. I'll explain this right now, though. It is a good pass defense through the air, but they gave up a lot still. They didn't give up a crazy amount of touchdowns through the air, but they have problems. And I'll go those over really fast, okay? This is before I talk about the Lions defense. This is the Lions O versus the Commanders defense, okay? This is, and I'm going to do this pass versus play action, okay? We have the pass and the play action. Pass versus play action. You know what the Lions are? Number 2 in the NFL. You know what the Commanders defense is versus pass and play action? 30th. Short pass. We're number 1 in short pass as an offense. Short pass, the Commanders D, 24th. Pass versus blitz. We're number 3. Commanders are 27th in the NFL. Pass versus no pressure. We're number 1. So Goff is the best quarterback in the NFL versus no pressure. Okay, and that's fine because it happens a lot. But we're number 1. No one else is better than Jared Goff passing the ball. They're number 21 when they don't pressure the quarterback. Overall pass, we're number 2 in the NFL. They're number 23. So again, when I say, I wish I kind of went a little bit deeper into some of this prior, but it's okay. I kind of saw this GIF or meme or picture, whatever it was, and I was very intrigued by it. Because if you just go by their passing per game, 189.5, it's number 3 in the NFL, you're like, wow, that's a phenomenal defense. And it is good passing defense. It is. But they got their problems. They got their problems versus the play action. They can't stop the short pass. They're in trouble when they blitz and it's a pass. No pressure, they're in trouble a little bit, and overall pass 23. So if they blitz Goff, they're going to be in trouble. Play action, which I knew that they were going to be bad in. I knew this was going to be around 30 or 31, 32 because they can't stop the run. So play action is a fake run. Guys bite. They can't stop the run. They're trying to stop the run. That's pretty much what your main goal is to try and stop the run as a defense. You want to make a team as one-dimensional as possible, and your goal is to stop the run. That's what you really want to do. They try to stop the run. They can't. And when they can't do it, they got to worry about the play action because you're thinking run, and then it's a pass. Guys are out of place. Guys are frozen. We eat that shit up. And a lot of teams ate up the Commanders. They're just not a good they're not a good run defense. So they're constantly thinking, you got to stop the run, got to stop the run. Can't do it, and then you bite hard on the play action. That's usually how it goes when you're a bad defense in that one department. They're not a terrible defense. They're not. But that is a real thing. I hope you're with me on that one. Hope I explained it a little bit good as fast as I could. I'm not trying to get completely into it, but that's what it is. Good pass defense, but they got problems of their own in the pass as well too. They really do. So who knows what their game plan is going to be? Because you're not stopping this run. I don't think you're stopping this pass. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. That's why I'll explain it. But Lions defense, yards per game, 342.4 yards against puts them at 20th. Rush per game against, 98.4 yards, 5th in the NFL. They still stop the run on an elite level. Per rush, 4.5 against, tied for 8th. Passes per game, 244. That puts us at 30th. We don't have a very good passing defense through the air, but we do well in some spots. QBR right there, 82 QBR against. That puts us at number 1. So you can throw all day on us, but not a lot of success is going to become of it. Yeah, you're going to get the big yards, but the touchdowns and all that stuff is not really coming with all that. So we're good in that department. We'll give up a ton of yards, which I think we're going to give up a bunch of yards tonight. I really do, but I don't think they're going to score a ton. They're going to score on us, though. Sacks, we got 37 sacks on the season, tied for 26. That's an issue. Needs to be addressed next year. I know Hutchinson was out. You could have probably added another 10, 12 sacks to that. But him being out, Lee McNeil missing a ton of time too as well. That did hurt them in that department. Third down percentages, that's turning thirds into first against our D. 32.4%. That's number 1 in the NFL. So we're getting off the field on third downs, which is humongous. And then possession, 27 minutes, 53 seconds as a unit. That puts us at number 2 in the NFL. And then points per game, 20.1 points per game. That's 7th in the NFL. So a lot of people want to call this defense trash. It's not trash. It's banged up. It's hurt. It's concerning. But it's not a bad defense. It's still not a bad defense. Even guys coming in, 3rd, 4th string guys, practice squad guys coming in, doing their job. Now, I said that it was going to be a little bit different coming playoff time, and I still think it's going to be. But I still trust this defense. I trust the offense 1,000 times more. But, we'll get into that. So, talk about the offense and the defense of both teams. Guys, this Commanders offense, don't sleep on them. Okay? Just right off the bat, don't sleep on this Commanders offense. They're a very good offense. Okay? I think they're known better for their running attack because they pretty much have Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, and Jaden Daniels, like I said, who all run the ball well. Their quarterback has like almost 900 yards rushing. He's a big-time player, especially running the football. I like their weapons. Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz still getting the job done at tight end in his 30s, whatever how old he is. Don't sleep on guys like Diami Brown. Don't sleep on Zacchaeus. Those kind of guys, man, can kind of sneak up on you. They're better in run blocking, I think. And their pass blocking, they gave up a ton of sacks this year, 50. And I think it's a team that our defense is going to have to get after Jaden Daniels. You don't get after him. I think they're going to blitz the hell out of him and pressure him. They're going to have probably guys blitzing and kind of guys half blitzing, almost like a run blitz, where you don't go all out trying to get the quarterback. You kind of blitz and then you stop and you try to gauge where the quarterback's going to go. The Lions defense isn't big on spying guys, spying quarterbacks. Glenn has voiced this a lot through the last few years. He's not big on spying, but I think he'll kind of half spy. You're going to have to have a guy kind of know where he is at all times, Daniels, because he loves to tuck it and run it. He feels a little bit of pressure, he's going to go. He's still a rookie. You gotta get in this guy's face. And, what they're going to do in the secondary with guys like Terry McLaurin, is the meat going to be on him? I'm guessing it will be. I don't think they're going to put Terrion Arnold, who's got a foot problem, and who has struggled all year with guys. He's gotten better over games, majority of the games, but he has struggled with penalties, getting beat. I think Amik Robinson is going to be on Terry McLaurin. I don't know if they're going to play straight up man like they did against Minnesota, But the secondary is going to be flip-flopping around. You're going to see Branch kind of flip-flopping around, maybe to nickel, back to safety. A lot of Melifonwu in there, maybe some run blitzes for him, some pass blitzes for him, packages. You're going to see Terrion in there. He's going to see some Kindle Vildor backing him up because of his foot injury. Kirby's going to be out there. Majority of the snaps probably won't even be off the field at all. It's going to be interesting. But you got to keep Jaden Daniels bottled up. You got to keep him in the inside. Keep him inside as much as you can because he bounces to the outside. It's going to be a problem. He's going to get big gains and all that. So you keep him inside. He can get a big lick from a linebacker. Something. You got to shake his cage, man. You got to rattle it. That's what they have to do. Don't let him run free. And make him keep it in the middle. Make him throw to the middle because that's where Brian Branch and I think Kirby are going to be more. So, that's the problem. Jaden Daniels is the main problem here. He's a very cool and calm rookie quarterback. Doesn't play like a rookie. He's very cool. He's very calm. His composure is very good. He plays like a 5-6 year veteran. He really does. But he's prone to mistakes too because he is a rookie. And he's not as good on the road. That's another thing. Now, the Lions offense, I'll put them up against anybody. Okay? I'll put them up against anybody. We got weapons across the board. That's speaking quarterback, O-line, wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. That's all of them. They're a phenomenal offense. Now, like I pointed out, their run defense is terrible, Washington's. Terrible. They do not stop the run. They didn't all year. Okay? We're going to run the ball down that team's throat. That's the plan anyways. That should be the plan. We should be able to run the ball down their throats. Gibbs should have a massive day. Montgomery should be big. I don't think he's going to get, he might get half the carries that that Gibbs gets. Like if Gibbs gets 15, you might see Montgomery get 6 or 7. This is Gibbs' show now, and I think it'll be proven tonight. And that's not a knock on Montgomery because he is coming off a major knee injury, which a lot of people thought he should have took the surgery. Me being one of them. So, and then our pass offense is legit. We've gone up against teams like Tampa Bay, Chicago. Who else did we beat that had a very good pass defense? Tennessee. I think I might have mentioned them. Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Chicago. Those type of teams all had good pass defenses. We did well against them. We've done well against them. They have a good pass defense, okay, through the air. But they got some problems, like I said, play action, short pass, blitz, no pressure. Overall, they do have weaknesses. It's not a great defense Washington has. It's good, though. It's a good defense, especially when it comes to yards. And you got to get yards to get touchdowns. So I'm not trying to throw any shade on the Commanders because they deserve all the credit in the world. They're a team that doesn't give a F. You know what I'm saying? They probably a lot of people feel they shouldn't be here. And they're like, why not us? They beat Tampa Bay. They shouldn't have beat Tampa Bay, I don't think, but they did. They beat them. They're coming in a very confident, young, cocky team. They're coming into Ford Field. I just don't think they've faced this kind of animal in Detroit, this kind of stadium all year. They're going to be a little bit shell-shocked. I think they're going to get shell-shocked tonight. So I'm going to predict. I might change my score. Okay, this is what I first have. I'm going to stick with it because I think the Commanders are going to get some scores. 24-38 Detroit Lions. That's what I think it's going to be. So that's what? A 14-point lead? That's 2 touchdowns? 2 touchdown lead. I think they're going to cover. It's 8.5, 9.5, whatever it is. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be one of those games where there's a lot of people picking. No, I won't say a lot, but there's people picking the Commanders. There is. And that's fine. They kind of deserve that. They beat a Tampa Bay team. They probably shouldn't have won that game that they did. And I just think we're a different breed. Now, we have to contain Daniels. He's the one. He's the X factor for me. He's the guy you have to contain. So Aaron Glenn, Jaden Daniels, the 2 X factors for me. How's Glenn going to play him? You can't let him run all over the field, and you can't give him all kinds of time either. You can't give him time either. You have to blitz him. You got to get him. You got to get him peeking over his shoulder, looking left, looking right, looking behind. You have to. You got to get him. Just get him rattled. Rattle him. Hit him. You have to hit him. So it's going to be one of those games, guys. I think we're advancing. I got it 38-24 Detroit Lions. Let's go Detroit Lions. It's a huge game. The clap is back. Clap is back. The shoulder's getting better. I feel better. You know, I still probably a month and a half away from going back to work. It still kind of hurts, but it's going up. You know, the strength isn't there. The range of motion, not what I want 100%, but feeling good, feeling better, feel great about this football game tonight. You know, the concern level is at about a 3 for me, 3 out of 10, 3 or 4. It's not too bad. I think we're going to win this game. I think we're going to win it convincingly. I really do. So thanks, guys, for coming in and watching the video. I appreciate it. It's a long one, going on 36 minutes. Wow. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Subscribe button. Like, comment, subscribe. Big win for the Lions coming up. I feel it. How do you guys feel about it? Detroit versus everybody. Grit. Let's get it done tonight. Ford Field. Need the crowd. The crowd will be there. People are jacked up. Let's go. Detroit, baby. Boom.